Hi friends, how are you? So I think if I remember correctly, this is my first Facebook live. Yesterday, the government of India has tabled the budget for the 2023 and 24. Probably this is the final full budget of this government because next year general election is there and the government will table an interim budget rather than a full budget. So there are so much news on the statics, figures, analysis of the budget. You can find it on TV news channels, newspapers, social media, everywhere. But here in this video, I want to discuss one very important and disturbing, improvements that I see in this budget. That is a massive cut for the Ministry of Minority Affairs. I mean, but before that, budget is very important for any country. It signifies many things. It is a kind of economic planning for the country. It also indicates that the allocation of budgets for various sectors like health, education, defense, railways, and so many things are there. It's also budget is a kind of transparency tool where you can see that how much the government is spending on what, on various blocks, right? It's a kind of hard case to make that there is a kind of intentional cut for the minorities, especially when you look at the cut, especially for welfare schemes in health, educations, and several other schemes. But what I find disturbing is that all the schemes under the Ministry of Minority Affairs, they are facing severe cuts. So I have identified several schemes where the government have allocated very less budget in comparison to the last year. So the first one is Merit Means Scholarship for minority communities. It is basically a scholarship for professional and technical courses. Here last year, for the same Merit Means Scholarship, the budget allocation was 365 crore, and this year it has been reduced to 44 crore, a massive cut, as you can see that, right? And the second scheme under the Ministry of Minorities Affairs, which is, I think, received the biggest hit, is the pre-matric scholarship for minorities. So last year the allocation for this scheme was almost 1,425 crore, and this year it has been reduced to 433 crores. So almost 1,000 crore cut for for this very important scheme for the minority students. So it is given students from minority communities before matric, right? And the next one is the budget for research scheme for minorities. So in the last budget, it was around 41 crore. Now it has been reduced to 21 crore, almost 50% cut for this for this scheme also. And there is another scheme, education scheme for madrasas and minorities. So here also almost 93% cut for this scheme also. Last year the allocation for this scheme was almost 160 crore, and now it has been reduced to only 10 crore, right? Can you believe that? And there is another program under the same ministry, PM Jan Vikas Karyakram. So basically it is an skill development program for areas where there is a concentration of minority population, right? So here also, if I can remember this scheme, when it was started in 2015, an allocation of 600 crore was made at that time. And there was a help from the World Bank also. 50 million US dollar was pledged by the World Bank in 2015. Now this scheme, has been reduced completely. I mean, I don't know. There is very less allocation for this PM Jan Vikas Karyakram scheme. And similarly, there were so many other schemes for minorities like Ustad scheme, Nai Manzil scheme. Ustad scheme was basically for, again, skill training for arts and crafts from minority communities, right? So it has been reduced, you cannot believe, from 332 crore to only 3.44 crore. So it is almost non-existence, right? And there are scheme for for free coaching scheme for minority students. So here also the budget allocation for this scheme has been reduced from 79 crore to 30 crore. I mean, almost 60% cut for this important scheme. And there were, also schemes where if students from the minority communities just qualified the prelims, they used to get some certain kinds of incentives. So there is no allocation for that in this budget. It is almost no allocation for these incentives under this budget. So what I want to say is that it seems that there is all indication that in the near future this ministry is going to be scrapped. There was rumors. There are rumors actually from last 1 and 2 years that the ministry is going to be merged with the Ministry of Social Justice. Right, and since the Mukhtar Abbas Naqvi has gone from the ministry and Smriti Irani has assumed the role as the Minister for Minority Affairs, I mean, there is a consistent attack. Not so long ago, a scholarship scheme for higher education for minority students named Manav, Maulana Azad National Fellowship, right? It was also scrapped on the ground. The government said that it was, overlapping with several other schemes, and the truth is that there are other schemes for other social groups like OBCs, SCs, and STs is also overlapping. But it is only the minority or the Manav which actually face the wrath of the government. So what I feel is that this government is hell bent on to cut budgets for the empowerment and educations of the minority students. So whatever the claim of the government is that Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas is actually not reflecting for minorities in this budget. I mean, it's completely the massive cut shows a kind of hostile attitudes towards the minorities, right? It's not only the budget. You can also see these kinds of hostile attitudes on TV from the statements of the ministers of this government. So whatever the government claims on the international platforms that everyone is safe, everyone, all the minorities here in India are getting things. It's not true. I mean, the government should focus on the welfare of the minorities, and it should allocate funds, proper funds. But nevertheless, this budget shows that this ministry is going to be scrapped very, very soon, right? So yeah, this is my understanding that this ministry is going to end very soon, right? So this is for today, and I hope that you like my Facebook live, and I'm planning to come occasionally on Facebook and talk to you on important issues. Okay, so have good night. Thank you.